In a world where appearance often takes precedence over substance, the weight of a person serves as a marker of both their physical condition and how society evaluates their worth. Unfortunately, from the relentless pursuit of the ideal body to the stigmatization of those whose weight diverges from societal norms, aka being too small or too big, the significance of weight extends far beyond its tangible measurement on a scale. And at this point, I don't even know what the ideal body type is because there's always something new every day. But with the growing popularity of weight loss drugs, I think it's safe to say that thin is in. If you are an active user on social media or you're just up to date on what's happening, then you probably have heard of Ozempic.
Ozempic, it is literally the hottest drug in the country right now.
One hot topic everyone in Hollywood still seems to be talking about is Ozempic.
Tonight, we look at the ups and downs of weight loss from prescription drugs like Ozempic.
So as you can see, Ozempic is quite popular and it has been popular for a while now. So if you have not heard of it, I'm pretty surprised, but don't worry because I'll explain it in today's video. But Ozempic is used to treat type 2 diabetes in adults, but a lot of celebrities have been turning to this drug for weight loss because one of the side effects of using Ozempic is losing weight. And celebrities using Ozempic to lose weight wouldn't be a problem if they were not causing shortages to make people almost go blind because they can't get their hands on this drug. But we will talk about that later in today's video. A lot of celebrities have admitted to using Ozempic. Some people have denied it and others have been accused of it. So a lot's going on. But I've been meaning to make a video on this topic for a while now. And when I saw that one of my favorite YouTubers, D'Angelo Wallace, made a video on it, I decided to hop on it too. But I really enjoyed his video and I wanted to add my own perspective to the world of Ozempic. So let's talk about this problematic world of Ozempic. We're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna talk about Ozempic, weight loss, and fatphobia. And also as a person myself who used to be bigger. Yeah, I used to be quite big. Maybe not. Okay, whatever. Let me stop getting so anxious and nervous because whenever I talk about my weight for some reason, I'm like, ah. But yes, as a person who has been bigger before, I also do want to add my 2 cents to this discussion. And yeah, let's get into it. Yeah. And let me just ask you this question, and I would love to know your answer by the end of this video. My question is, how do societal beauty standards contribute to the perception of weight? And what impact does this have on individual self-esteem and mental health? Let's get into it. Yeah. Okay, so part 1. What is Ozempic? So this section will feature an explanation on what Ozempic is, what it's being used for, and how it works. It may sound complicated at first, but trust me, it's not. Because if I was able to understand it, then I know you will be able to understand it for sure. Because I am not the smartest person out there when it comes to science. But anyways, let's get into this little lesson about Ozempic. Yeah. Okay, so for this section of the video, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that it does not sound like a lecture because I don't want to give you guys flashbacks of school. I mean, you might already still be in school if you're in high school or university or college or whatever, but I just finished. Yay! But yeah, I just finished, so I do not want to sound like a professor, so I'm going to do my best to make sure I do not sound like one. It's not hard to understand because if I can understand it, then you can definitely understand it too. Amen. So let's talk Ozempic. Ozempic is also known as semaglutide, but my pronunciation is terrible, so I'm just going to refer to it as Ozempic because it's easier to say. This medication gained FDA approval in 2017, so it's fairly new to the industry because it hasn't even been out for like a full 10 years. So it's quite new compared to other drugs and medications that are out there already. And if you don't know, the Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA, they're responsible for protecting the public health of humans and animals by reviewing medical devices, cosmetics, drugs, biological products, like the list goes on and on and on, but basically their job is to protect us. Anything that we're consuming, that we're putting on our bodies, they review it to make sure that it's not going to kill us, basically. And there are medications out there that are not FDA approved, but it's highly recommended that you do not take them because not enough is known about the drug and we don't know what it could do to you, so they recommend you not to take it. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal for doctors to prescribe medication that is not FDA approved. So when we have a product like Ozempic that is FDA approved, that means that its benefits outweigh the known and potential risk. Got it? Okay, great. Let's keep going. The way that Ozempic treats type 2 diabetes is by aiding in blood sugar control by stimulating insulin production in the pancreas. Insulin is a natural hormone that your pancreas makes, and we all have it. It's important because it allows your body to use sugar for energy. If your pancreas doesn't make enough insulin or your body doesn't use insulin properly, then this leads to high blood sugar levels, and this can result in diabetes. Shout out to my high school biology teacher, because if I did not pay attention, I would have not been able to understand all of this. Stay in kids school. What? Did I just say stay in kids school? I meant to say stay in school, kids. So the active ingredient in Ozempic is semaglutide, and I mentioned this earlier. And this ingredient mimics the hormone that triggers feelings of fullness, and it slows down digestion, which makes you eat less. This is similar to the effects of bariatric surgery, which is known to treat class 3 obesity. Research indicates that semaglutide does indeed foster weight loss, which has prompted discussions among healthcare professionals about its potential benefits in combating obesity. So if you search up how to use Ozempic on Google, there's a step-by-step process on how you can use it. But basically, just to summarize it, you have to inject yourself with the needle once a week, and you can inject it, I think, anywhere on your body, but you have to avoid veins and something else. So you have to inject it once a week, and that is how you use it. But I think it's important to mention that Ozempic is FDA approved to treat type 2 diabetes. It is not FDA approved to treat weight loss. But regardless, it is still seen as a weight loss drug in Hollywood. However, wegovy is considered the sibling drug to Ozempic, and this drug is actually FDA approved to treat weight loss. But you have to meet specific requirements to be able to get your hands on this medication. To use wegovy, you have to have a BMI of 30 or more to qualify, or you can have a BMI of at least 27 and have a weight-related medical condition such as high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or type 2 diabetes to qualify to get wegovy. And BMI stands for body mass index, which is a way to measure your body fat based on your height and your weight. It's how doctors and all those medical professionals figure out if someone's obese or not, or overweight. However, I feel like the BMI system is a little bit flawed. I'm not no doctor. I'm not good at science. So I guess I don't really have the expertise to talk about it, but I do feel like it is flawed. I just feel like certain body types that they classify as obese and overweight, it does not make sense to me, at least. Some people who they would classify as obese, I don't consider them obese, but as I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't really know too much about it. I just feel like it's flawed to a certain extent, but shit, what did I know? So the active ingredient in Ozempic is semaglutide, which I said before. Wegovy has the same ingredient, but at a higher dose, which helps with the weight loss. And when I found this out, I was curious as to why celebrities are not choosing to use wegovy instead of Ozempic, because wegovy is actually meant for weight loss. For Ozempic, it's meant to treat type 2 diabetes, but weight loss is a possible side effect. And I couldn't really find any website that answered my question. Maybe I wasn't looking enough or something, I don't know. But now thinking about it, I feel like it's because of the requirement. Because to get your hands on wegovy, you have to meet the requirements. You have to be considered obese or overweight to get your hands on it. I feel like Ozempic is probably easier for these celebrities to get their hands on because you don't need all of these requirements to access the drug. Also, it seems like it's very easy for these celebrities to get their hands on Ozempic because Chelsea Handler, who is an American comedian and actress, said that her anti-aging doctor just hands out Ozempic to anyone.
Well, so my doctor, my anti-aging doctor, just hands it out to anybody, right? Oh. And obviously now I can't say her name, but I didn't even know I was on it.
So yeah, that does sound a little bit concerning to see that her doctor is just freely giving out Ozempic to anyone. And also, it is concerning to hear that she didn't even know that she was on Ozempic. Yeah, a little bit weird. I don't know what's going on in Hollywood, but some sketchy-ish is going on. To me, this does not sound legal at all, especially considering that there has been a shortage of the Ozempic medication since last year, July, I believe. And this is preventing people with type 2 diabetes to get their hands on this drug. So let's talk about the problematic use of Ozempic. Because yeah, part 2, the problematic use of Ozempic. As I mentioned earlier, it seems that this medication is easy to get your hands on, but you have to be rich and famous, of course, as I am sure that Chelsea Handler's doctors, patients are all famous and wealthy people, not your everyday person. So it seems like this medication is easy for those in Hollywood to get their hands on because they have the means to afford it. However, this accessibility is resulting in a shortage, affecting those who actually need the drug. And with every medication, there are the side effects too. So let's talk and let's get into this world of Ozempic. Let's get into it, yeah. The allure of quick fix weight loss solutions often captures the attention of the public, especially when it's endorsed by celebrities. But I mean, we all know how to lose weight, right? They say to eat healthy and exercise, and as long as you lose more calories than you consume, then you're Gucci. So it should be simple, but it's not. There are a lot of factors that contribute to obesity or just being overweight, such as genetics, your environment, your stress levels. Like, there are so many factors that contribute to it. So it's not just as simple as telling someone to go work out and eat healthy. There's a lot of things that are going on, and if you don't know what's going on in someone else's life, you need to keep it hush. Don't talk, because trust me, they do not want your unsolicited advice. But with all of these factors contributing to being overweight or obese, it makes it really hard to be able to lose the weight in the first place if that is your goal. So when you have people promoting a drug that helps you lose weight, it does sound tempting and way easier than working out. Honestly, when I first got into the gym, all I did was cardio because it was so hard just to even get into the gym. Like, first of all, I was lazy, so I just did not want to get into the gym, but also like the fear of people watching you, also being nervous because you don't know how to do anything or you feel like you're being judged. Like, girl, I feel that. So definitely getting into the gym it's a struggle, but once you get into it, you get into the routine and everything, you'll be fine. But I know that it's not easy because I was once in that boat. Okay, so now let's fast forward to today. So we have a bunch of celebrities using Ozempic and they're endorsing it. But one thing we have to remember is that celebrities have money. They got the coin and they have substantial resources and access to elite healthcare services, and they probably find it easier to get their hands on Ozempic for off-label use. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but off-label use is the practice of prescribing a drug for a different purpose than what the FDA approved it for. So if a doctor prescribed Ozempic for weight loss for one of their patients, then that would be considered off-label use because Ozempic is FDA approved to treat type 2 diabetes, not weight loss. Weight loss is just a side effect of using Ozempic. Since Ozempic is very popular among all of these celebrities, this causes a surge in demand, which exacerbates the supply shortages, leaving individuals with type 2 diabetes who rely on Ozempic for essential blood sugar management in a precarious position. The disparity in access to healthcare resources underscores systemic inequities that prioritize cosmetic concerns over critical medical needs. You cannot tell me that looks are not important. No matter how many times people try to tell me or even try to tell you that looks don't matter and what's on the inside is more important, no. Like, yes, I've said this before, what's on the inside is important, but the way you look plays a huge role with how you're treated. Because trust me, I have seen it firsthand from being someone who was quite ugly to looking the way I look now. There is a huge difference in how I have been treated. This makes people go the extra mile to achieve that ideal look, whether it's through cosmetic procedures, receiving expensive services, or using weight loss medication. People will go that extra mile to achieve that look so they can be treated better and receive more opportunities in society. I've talked about this in both of my pretty privileged videos, so if you haven't watched those, definitely check them out. I mean, it's kind of cringy though, because those are like one of my first earlier videos, so proceed with caution. But what I said in those videos still stands today, and it will probably stand for a very long time because pretty privilege is a thing. Let's just stop it right there. I might make a part 2 to those videos though, like maybe in the future, like if my thoughts and opinions change on it or if something happens where I decide to talk about it. But as of now, what I said in those 2 videos still stands. And I am not saying all of this to defend these celebrities for using Ozempic as a weight loss tool. Let me just make that clear. We're not trying to do that. I personally feel like Ozempic should not be used as a weight loss drug because it is not FDA approved to be a weight loss drug. So I don't think these celebrities should be using it for that. Plus, they're literally causing shortages for people who actually need it. So they're making their appearance a priority over someone's actual physical health and mental well-being. In one video of Ozempic that I was watching on YouTube, this one user left this comment that I'm going to read to you guys, which really opened my eyes to see how much of a problem this whole situation is. I have type 2 diabetes. Last year, there was a global shortage of Ozempic and I went 6 weeks without it. Finally going back to the insulin injections I used to take 12 years ago. I went in for a routine eye test today and they told me that there were signs of diabetic damage to my eyes. I have to go back in 3 months to see if the eyes have healed or not. Now I understand that obesity can be a serious problem, but I think the people facing blindness or amputation should have first call on this medication. I really feel for this person because imagine potentially losing your eyesight. Like, that is so scary, and to think that it can be prevented, but the medication that you need, people are using it for their own selfish reasons. Like, I don't even know how I would feel. Actually, no, I'd feel very frustrated. And I don't know, like the whole healthcare system, man, like what is up with the healthcare system? I could even rant about that, but we live in an amazing world, don't we? This comment just highlighted the dire consequences of medication shortages, especially for those with urgent medical needs. And when a product is experiencing shortages, who do you think gets their first hands on the product when it's available? I'll take a wild guess and say it's the celebrities or the people who have the means to afford it and can pay the big bucks to get it. Money really runs the world. It is sad, but money is such a huge part of life and society. And if you really think about it, like, money just runs everything. Money is so important. And not only are there shortages with Ozempic, it also comes with quite scary side effects. And I know that every medication has side effects to it. That's why I actually avoid trying to take medication, because I don't like putting medicine in my body. Like, if I don't need it, I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna try like teas and herbal stuff and like all that type of stuff, because I do not like medication. Like, sometimes they be having too much side effects and this, that. I'm like, girl, I just wanted to heal this cold. I do not want to get all that. So I'm gonna take some green tea and call it a day. I have low iron, so instead of taking the pills for it, I actually just make a spinach smoothie every day and I just drink it in the morning every single time because spinach is high in iron. So it gives me what I need. I'm Gucci, haven't fainted yet, so let me knock on wood. But I'm getting off track now, so let me stop talking about my fear of medication. But here are some side effects of Ozempic.
So one of the side effects, not surprisingly, can be GI, nausea, in some cases even vomiting, as diarrhea or bowel issues, and in rare cases, pancreatitis and inflammation of the pancreas. And these drugs do carry a black box warning for a rare type of thyroid cancer.
When she said thyroid cancer, I was like, pause. I know it's in rare cases, but it's still quite scary to know that there is a possibility that Ozempic could do that. So personally, this is just my opinion. I mean, I don't like medication anyway, so I would always take the route of no medication. But personally, if there's a rare possibility of me getting thyroid cancer from using this drug, I personally wouldn't. If I was using it for weight loss, I would find another way. But that's just me, and I know it's very rare too. So, you know, like, that's what it is, but damn, I don't know, that's kind of scary. Also, something else to consider is the possibility of gaining the weight back, or even gaining more weight than you previously had if you stop taking the medication. Studies have shown that individuals who cease taking semaglutide, which is the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy, remember, I know you do because you're paying attention, but individuals who stop taking semaglutide alongside lifestyle interventions often experience weight gain. In fact, research indicates that within a year of discontinuing the drug, individuals typically regain 2/3 of the weight they had lost. A similar trend was observed with tirzepatide, hope I'm saying that right. This is the active ingredient in Mounjaro and Zebound. Girl, let's just hope I'm pronouncing these things right. But tirzepatide is an active ingredient in those medications, and they found that more than half of the lost weight was regained within a year after stopping the medication. Of course, there are ways to maintain a healthy weight after using Ozempic or any type of weight loss drug, but you just have to plan that with your healthcare professional and make a plan that works for you. Anyway, so I hope you understand now how problematic it is for these celebrities to be using Ozempic as a weight loss drug. drug. When we have people who are facing blindness or amputation because they're not able to get their hands on this drug that is actually meant to help them live, not just to lose weight. I also understand that obesity and diabetes is linked, so one could argue that treating obesity is preventing diabetes. However, there are other ways to treat obesity, and since Ozempic is FDA approved for treating diabetes, I feel like the people with diabetes, with type 2 diabetes, should be getting first dibs on Ozempic, not those who are just using it to lose weight. But hey, what do I know? I ain't a doctor, so I'm just talking my shit. Part 3. The fat phobia is real. We do not like fat people, and when I say we, I mean society. But I can see how overweight people are treated in person and online. Y'all are not nice to them. I used to be bigger too, which I have mentioned earlier in this video, and I think I am finally brave enough to show my photos of myself before I lost the weight. So yeah, I'll show it in this video, so be grateful. But anyway, let's talk about fat phobia a little bit in this section. Yeah, let's start with a definition. Weight bias, sometimes also called fat phobia or weight stigma, describes the negative attitudes and stereotypes surrounding and attached to larger bodies. Further, fat phobia is an abnormal and irrational fear of being fat or being around fat people. It manifests in various forms such as discriminatory actions in public spaces and medical discrimination, and also appearance-based compliments that prioritize thinness. This bias is deeply ingrained in society, perpetuated by diet culture and media representations. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the brand called Brandy Melville, but if you haven't, I'm gonna explain it to you real quick. And they're still operating to this day, but it was really popular when I was younger. So let's talk about them because they're quite problematic and they have had a problematic past. But when I was younger, I thought Brandy Melville was so cool because a lot of these YouTubers who I watched at the time were promoting the brand. And I'm not blaming any of these YouTubers, they're simply just doing their job and promoting it. But this brand sells clothing in literally one size, and that size is extra small and small. It caters to a narrow definition of beauty, excluding those who do not fit into Brandy Melville's prescribed body standards. Models featured on the company's website and social media platforms further reinforce this limited view of beauty, perpetuating unrealistic ideals and fueling societal pressures. When I was younger, and I'm talking like maybe like pre-teen-ish, like yeah, preteen to like young high school girl, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so when I was like around that age, I was definitely not a small or not an extra small either. I was a little bit bigger, a little bit more curvier. I think I mentioned it before, but I was like, I kind of got developed earlier, so I had like more of a, I guess, body, if you want to call it. So I could definitely not fit into any of Brandy Melville's stuff, but I thought it was so cool and I wanted to wear the clothes because all these YouTubers were wearing it. So thank you to Brandy Melville for telling me that I'm fat. And it doesn't help that the brand's target audience is teenage girls. It's already hard enough being a teenage girl. The stress you go through, oh my god. But then to have a really popular brand basically call you fat because you can't fit into their clothes, that's another level of stress. For many teenage girls, the desire to conform to these standards leads to harmful behaviors such as extreme dieting or excessive exercise. This pursuit of the ideal Brandy Melville body can contribute to the development of eating disorders and other mental health issues, particularly among adolescents who are highly susceptible to societal influences. The brand's insistence on strict size standards perpetuates the harmful notion that one's worth is based on their body type and what size clothes that they can fit into. By leveraging its popularity to promote a narrow definition of beauty, the company inadvertently did contribute to body shaming and undermining the self-esteem of its target demographic. But upon doing some research, I have seen that Brandy Melville has upped its sizes, so now they're catering to more people now. But honestly, it's too late. I don't even care about Brandy Melville anymore. But yeah, I'm just not interested in their clothing anymore. I feel like my style has changed. I mean, I think that my style is like an evolving thing. It's still evolving. I'm still trying to get to where I'm trying to get to. I'm not even interested in Brandy Melville anymore. It's not my style, but they have upped their sizes, so I guess that's good. But I feel like it's kind of too late for that in a way. I just feel like they did it because they felt forced to, not because they actually wanted to do it now. So just like, I don't know, it just feels like it's coming from a place of, fine, we'll just give it to you. Like, it's not coming from a place of they actually want to improve or be better or better themselves. But it's interesting because I did see a couple girls complain that the Brandy Melville sizes are too big now. Like, girls who are more petite and smaller, they said that things don't fit them anymore from Brandy Melville because now the sizing is weird now or whatever. But I feel like that shouldn't be the case. Like, if Brandy Melville was going to include bigger people, then why don't they keep the same small sizes that they had before and then also just expand the sizing? I don't know why they expanded the smalls too, but I guess they did as well. However, I will say this, that this whole inclusivity trend is kind of hard to do because I just feel like it doesn't work for every single brand. Some brands are meant for a certain demographic and that's okay. However, I think the issue with Brandy Melville for me, it's because being thin, especially at that time, was very popular already. Like, all these models, all the famous people, they're very thin, they're smaller people. So we already saw that all the time. So to have a brand that specifically only caters to them is kind of like, well, you guys have everything else. So like, why do you need a brand that caters to you specifically? But that's just some of my thoughts on Brandy Melville. So even though I have beef with Brandy Melville, square up. But even though I have beef with them, they're not the reason why I decided to lose weight, but they were definitely a factor as to why I wanted to lose weight. And I actually lost weight between 2017 to 2018. So here are some pictures of me, don't judge. Because I wasn't even gonna show it, but you know, in the name of being authentic and transparent, I was like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna show these pictures. But honestly, some of you may think I was fat or some of you may not, but regardless if you're fat or not, if people keep telling you that you're fat and keeps telling you to lose weight, you're gonna think that you're fat. But I wanted to lose weight because I wanted a flat stomach, because that is literally everything like I saw when I was younger in movies and like shows and all of that. All like the actors and everything, they have like flat stomachs. So I was like, damn, I want one too. So that's really the main reason why I actually started losing weight. And to lose weight, I did like a half-assed keto diet. Keto diet is basically just avoiding carbs, but I still ate carbs too, but I just ate it in very small portions. So I did like a half-assed keto, I'm gonna call that. And then I also did a lot of cardio and I was able to lose like, I think like around 30 to 40 pounds. So originally I was around 200 or almost 200 pounds, but I ended up losing like 40 pounds ish. I got down to like 150, 160. I guess that's like 40 pounds, 50 pounds? Girl, I'm not good at math. But anyways, just know I lost a couple of pounds, period. And let me just say, it is a struggle to lose weight. Like, it's not easy at all. Like, if you don't have people supporting you, if you don't have someone who you're trying to lose weight with, like, it's really hard if you're doing it all alone. I was doing it with myself, and my environment wasn't like the best for losing weight because there was so much food everywhere and everything. So it was not easy. Like, honestly, anyone who has ever lost weight or whatever, I applaud you because it is tough. I know how hard it is. And it was so interesting too because I didn't realize I was losing weight until one day in high school when school was over and I was just walking through the halls. And you know how in schools they have a door, then they have a window beside it. So I turned to the left-hand side of me and the class that I was looking in, the lights were off. So you could see yourself in the reflection. So I saw myself in the reflection. I was like, that's me. I was very shook because I didn't realize how baggy my clothes had gotten on me. And I didn't realize that I just looked different. So I wasn't keeping track of how I looked before, but from that point on, I started keeping track of how I looked. And also from that point on too, I started getting more compliments based on my weight. Like, I look amazing, I lost a lot of weight. Like, people were complimenting me. And also during that time, it was like a transition period in my life. I guess you can call it your glow up. Like, I remember when the glow up season was very popular on YouTube and like Instagram and everything, but I guess we're gonna call it my glow up era or whatever. But I lost weight. I started learning how to do my makeup, and I attempted to learn how to do my hair, but I still can't do my own hair, so I just get someone else to do it for me. But yeah, it was very much a moment of transition in my life. I was changing the way I looked. I started getting more attention from people, and I didn't know how to act because like it was all new to me, but I think I handled it pretty well. But once you transition from, I guess, being conventionally ugly to being conventionally pretty, or just more people finding you attractive, negative, it definitely does make you feel a type of way, and it could be positive or it could be a negative feeling. Anyway, so let's fast forward to like a year after I lost weight. So I was chilling, happy, just, you know, NK was living the life. But then I got prescribed birth control because I had irregular periods, and also I had acne back in the day too. However, I was hesitant first because I don't like medication, as I mentioned that earlier. I don't it. But the biggest reason, and like this might sound so shallow, but it is what it is, I'm being transparent, I'm being honest. One of the biggest side effects I've heard of using birth control is weight gain. And I was like, no. I was like, no, oh hell no, oh why? And even when I read the warning side on the actual birth control that the doctor prescribed to me, it did say weight gain. And I was like, no. I was like, I don't care. And I know, as I said, this probably sounds shallow. It is what it is. I was like, I recently just lost this weight. I have been treated so amazing for this last couple of years. Year. And y'all want me to gain that weight back? Probably times 10 too. I don't even know how big I'm gonna get. So I was like, no. And I didn't go on it, even though like I had irregular periods and I had acne. I was like, I'm gonna find a way to get rid of this because I'm not doing it. But the thing is that weight gain is very normal. Like, it's very normal for your weight to fluctuate with different things happening in your life, like genetics, like medical conditions. Like, there are so many reasons why people's weight fluctuates and they can gain or lose weight or whatever. It's a very natural process, and it shouldn't be treated as something that is so big and like, oh my God, she gained like 10 pounds or 20 pounds. Like, oh my God. It shouldn't be treated like that, but it is treated like that. And since thinness is so promoted in society, like, it kind of fucks up with your brain, and you're like, damn, like gaining weight is like the death of all deaths. Like, it's the worst thing that can possibly happen to you. And that was definitely my mindset at the time. And I'll be honest, I low-key do still have that mindset, like just a little bit. Not proud of it. Even though I talk about these things, I'm not above it. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Like, it still affects me too. And personally, like, I've been able to maintain my weight since I lost my weight. I don't do keto anymore, but like, I just eat in moderation, and I also lift more. I don't do as much cardio, so that's just my little spiel there. But I say all of this to say, going back to the definition with fat phobia, I feel like fat phobia affects a lot of us more than we even think. Like, when you gain weight, you're treated as, you're not treated the nicest. Like, people are like, oh my God, you gained weight. Like, what's going on? Like, do you need help? Like this, like, it's just a lot. So weight gain is just not seen as a cute thing in this little society that we live in. So yeah, I'll be honest, I do have a fear of being bigger. I don't think it's like an abnormal or irrational fear. Like, it's not like a crazy, like, oh my God, if I gain 10 pounds, I'm gonna fight someone. But I definitely do have like a fear of being bigger. So that's why I just maintain my lifestyle. But I'm definitely not afraid of bigger people, or yeah, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not scared of them. I don't care about other people who are big. It's just me. So I feel like that probably affects a lot of us more than we even think, just because of how thinness is so praised in society. And when talking about fat phobia, I feel like it's really important to bring up Lizzo, because when I think of her, I think of fat shaming or fat phobia, because she has been a victim to it several times within her career. She has quite a bit of popular songs. I'm sure you have at least heard of one of them. Let me play some. So yeah, that's Lizzo. You may have heard of at least one of her songs, but she has to constantly defend herself against fat phobic comments because people on social media are just ruthless. And I'm not gonna read any of those comments because people are just rude for no reason. And the way Lizzo gets treated is a blatant example of how society views bigger people. People just make several assumptions on someone based solely on their weight. They assume that all they do is eat fast food and sit down all day. People have said this about Lizzo, but if you see the type of performances that she's doing, that makes no sense, because she goes on tours. Touring is a lot on your body. Like, it takes a toll on you, and you have to be taking care of yourself so you have enough energy to perform every single night. Despite her talent and accomplishments, she does remain a target of societal scrutiny, highlighting the greater need for acceptance and inclusivity. And even if you go on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, like, I can't tell you how many times I see like videos of people who are bigger, and I go to the comments, and the comments are vile. Like, they're just so rude, especially on Instagram. Like, I'm not laughing because the comments are funny, but I'm just laughing how crazy it is that people feel so comfortable and confident being so rude to someone so openly. Like, they don't even care. They'll just say like, yeah, you're fat. Like, it's just crazy. Like, Instagram, like, the vibe there is just negative. Like, all the top comments are always like hate comments for some reason, and I don't know if it's like an algorithm thing. I don't know if it's like people are just ruder on Instagram. Like, have y'all noticed that? Tell me if you notice that, or maybe I'm just crazy, but yeah, it's a lot. Anyways, a whole video on fat phobia itself could be made, but all you really need to know is that society's fixation on thinness is a problem. And do I see this problem going away anytime soon? No, I'll be honest, I really don't. And it's unfortunate, but I don't see it going away anytime soon. I know people are promoting and talking about body neutrality more now, so I definitely want to see how that plays out, and maybe I can make a video on that in the future. Anyways, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I appreciate you. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just stretching right now. Ooh, a stretch. But please let me know your thoughts on all of this. I am very curious to know what you have to say about this. So let me know. Did you answer the question that I asked earlier in this video? Please let me know. I would love to read your comments to that answer down below in the comments down below. So yeah, get into it, yeah. Anyways, I will see you all soon. So bye. Underscores systemic inequities that prioritize who are highly susceptible to social